Previous to that, I'd been a sales representative for several companies in the packaging business. As I made the contacts and got more and more customers, I acquired more things to sell, more products. And one of them was plastic foam products, the few there were in those days, from the originator of this business in Detroit. The moment was when this guy who owned, his name was George Cantrick, when George called me into his office and said, I can handle your business better than you. I'm canceling your agreement. And I sat there for a minute and I said, well, George, I'm not going to convince you to try to keep me on, but I'm going to tell you now, if you don't continue to pay me commissions, you're going to get sued. And then I found out that he was happy because I was making more money on commissions than he was as drawing a salary from his company. As it turned out, it took a lot longer to turn over that business to my own company, to Creative Foam, than I had expected. But we were dogged about going after it and doing that. Well, when we started the company, my concept was we would make production parts for automotive, which business we knew, and we would make packaging parts. And the packaging would be for, number one, for service parts, replacement parts, but also packaging for parts going in to an automotive plant. You know, it was very questionable in my mind, probably for 20 years, to see if Creative would be able to make it or not. But during that time, I would say 6, 8 years after Creative Foam started, the interest rates went up to 14, 15, 16%. And we didn't have that big a profit margin. It was a real question whether we could keep the company together or not. But sooner or later, the interest rates started going down, and at the same time, our business started taking off. Well, we came up with some special adhesives that worked for pressure-sensitive applications, where you had to be able to lay the part down on something, then pull it back off, and leave the parts in place, but the parts you pulled off wouldn't leave any residue. And we came up with probably 10 or 15 very, very new, outstanding pressure-sensitive applications. It's not easy putting adhesive on plastic materials. They react differently. Sometimes they kill the adhesive qualities on the glue. It's a tricky deal. Well, I could see, you know, the dangling out there of the gold in the future. But the problems we had were with the various automotive divisions. Then our biggest customer was General Motors. And General Motors' principles changed from, instead of going with the company that provided the best materials and the best delivery and quality and so on, they would go with whoever gave them the best price. And we had determined we were not going to do that. That's a losing proposition. I think it was maybe 2002, 2003, we went to General Motors and said, here, take all your business. Take it back. We don't want to do it anymore. We're losing money on your business. They didn't believe us. It was a very gutsy move. And the year following that, we made more money than we had lost the year previous on the General Motors business. Well, the interesting thing that happened right during this same time when we were telling General Motors we didn't want any more of the losses that we were taking from their business, we got a call from the new director of purchasing for Ford Motor Company. And I was there with our president at the time, and he said, we know that we've made a mistake. We know that you people have the best quality and the best materials and the best innovative parts and so on. and we're not getting any advantages from that. We want you to be our preferred supplier for these phone parts. And over the next 5 or 6 years, they've turned over all their business to us. So we have had for probably 8, 10 years now all of the phone business at Ford Motor Company, and they're now our biggest customer. Makes it easy when not dealing with General Motors. Well, you know, one of the things too, I think it's important is we've got a lot of employees that have been with us for 20, 30 years. We have lunch for every employee that more than 15, I think it is. And we used to get 1 or 2. Now we'll have 20 or 25 sitting at the table, and I don't know all their names anymore. There's so many. And I think that's an indication of a very successful company when you have employees that want to continue to work for you for that length of time. You know, we have just almost 1,000 employees, and it's just not possible to remember all their names. Hard enough to remember the management. And that's the other thing. We've got management that's grown up with us that have become extremely good managers, and they've learned by the mistakes that they've made, and we've worked with them. We probably have had 50 offers to be bought out. We probably have had, and maybe 20 of those or 15 of them, strong candidates for a buyout. We could never convince ourselves it was in our best interest, not saying from a money standpoint, but from we don't want to let our employees down and so on. And we've not sold out. Now we're now in the acquisition stage, and that's worked out very well for us. The biggest principle that has been inherent in our success is development. You've seen our new engineering and development business. And everybody who has seen that said, gee, you're a relatively small company. You've got this huge, expensive building and equipment and people. How can you afford it? We can't afford not to have that kind of thing. And that development has been remarkable. We're known for that among all kinds of people at Ford and Chrysler and our other major customers. If they got a problem, they can come to us with some relative assurance of success.